episode of Series 3.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. We're going to be coming back to you soon, but we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get further into the episode.
Sure.
But yes, I'm internationally produced playwright Matt Warzala.
And I, the same credentials as Matt, and my name's Mike.
Yes, and welcome to Art Cult, our bi-weekly show. Yes.
And then our producer, Jera.
Super producer, Jera. Hello, Jera.
Hello. Introduce him at the end of the show.
I guess, well, see how the show goes, and then we'll decide if we want to give him credit or not. But yeah, welcome to our bi-weekly show where we talk about art. We do the 5 tenets of art, where we make art,
Yep.
talk about art,
Yep.
encourage art,
Yep.
a 4th thing, and we drink wine.
Yep.
And so welcome to our show. You may also be watching us on YouTube because sometimes we put episodes out there as well. I can't complain because Mike does all the labor on that, and I'm glad to have it. We've got 2 episodes out on...
Do you have the urge to complain?
No, I don't actually.
That's
no,
fine if you do. You can
no,
complain.
I honestly don't.
You
No,
can submit your complaints.
I am very thankful to have them on there. I think it's cool. There are 2 episodes that are out there right now that you can find, as well as some snippets of our topic du jour, and we'll get to the topic du jour a little bit later.
A little bit later.
But, yes.
Yeah. Oh, I found the thing. There we go.
Excellent.
Move art. That's the thing.
Move art.
That's
That's
the one that we always forget.
Exactly. The one that would bring us the most money is the one we are always forgetting.
Which brings up also the other thought I was thinking was
Yes.
You can complain about any part of the show equivalent to the amount that you are paying for the show.
There you go.
If you pay a lot of money for the show, you can complain all day.
Yeah. Because then you are more actually invested in it
There
in
we
all
go.
reality. Or heck, I'll tell you what. You can
Proportional,
play.
that was what I was trying to
There
look
you
for.
go.
Your complaints should be proportional to the amount you're paying.
I love it. Also, if you share the show, the show either on either the YouTube clips or the link to the show, you get 1 free complaint per episode,
All right.
provided that you prove to us that you have shared the show that day. You can't go like later on and be like, hey, look at this link I shared from a week ago.
right.
I'd like to complain now.
I don't know. These are sounding like a lot of rules now. We're
No,
going to
it's
start
good.
keeping track of.
It's a rule. It's fine. It's a rule. But yeah, we're so glad to have you here joining us today. And speaking of ways that you can support the show, that
Yeah.
brings us to our Patreon pitch.
Oh, should we do that now?
Yeah, why not?
Maggie says, hey guys. Bree says, no complaints.
All right. Oh, good.
right.
Well, 2 for 2.
Exactly. And both of them would be welcome to complain, as they both have helped support the show in the past.
That's true. The ones that can complain won't.
Exactly,
The ones
right?
that do, no one complains. Actually, no one complains. Matt, I don't even know why we brought it up.
We've got that one. Although I will mention this as we are creating art.
What do we do?
One of those things that we have is the you know what you should doers.
Oh, yeah.
And they're always
Well,
like,
that's a good one.
you know what you should do? You should have like graphics at the bottom of your screen while you're doing this live. It's like, yeah, if you want to come in and show us how to do that, we'd be more than happy to do it. But it always turns into, well, you know what you should do?
Yeah.
You can do. But you know what you should do? Listen to the Patreon pitch.
Oh, strike 2.
Art Cult is a free show. It is always a free show. It will always be a free show. But there are ways that you can support Mike and you can support the program itself.
Yeah.
One of the ways you can support the program is through Wine Club. And actually, I'm going to grab the one that
Wine Club.
we actually had. Not that we don't always have them donated to us by people that are willing to pay for the privilege of
Yeah,
being
but
part
this
of
one was
Wine Club.
donated and hand-delivered,
Exactly.
which is always nice as well.
By Maggie Durnell.
Whee!
Maggie Durnell has donated a bottle of Cupcake Vineyards. Ooh, red velvet Cupcake Vineyards. So since Maggie didn't include what she'd like to have promoted, I'll say go to the Neville Public Museum. Hey, if you're in the greater Green Bay area, go to the Neville Public Museum. It's a great way to educate yourself.
Sure.
You get to see the woolly mammoth. And there's always a lot of great displays that Maggie herself works on. Maggie's also, I would say, the art director for Cardboard Theater Productions.
Yeah, we can call her that. Yeah.
A whiz with cardboard, a whiz with frames, a whiz with hanging command hooks, and she shares none of her secrets.
That's right. None. Although I'll get to that later. The secrets of Maggie are, we're getting those.
But for just $10, you can become a member of Wine Club. Oftentimes, our wines come from Aldi. Aldi is not a sponsor of Art Cult, but you could be a sponsor of Art Cult. And we'll talk up whatever event you have going on or whatever you'd like us to promote. All we'll do is cost you $10. We'll buy a bottle of wine and we'll toast you for the entire evening. For in this case, we're toasting to Maggie Durnell. Thank you so much for the Cupcake Vineyards Red Velvet. And there's a big letter M for you.
Look, Maggie made a big M. For Maggie, look at that.
There you
go. She was up. She's making. She's working on a project for the Green Bay Library system. They have asked her to make a number of things, including like a giant spelled out word "read" and
Nice.
another like summertime.
I don't want to tell Maggie how to do things, but there's no M in read.
Well, I think this is why this is still here. So she took the other stuff with her and then left this M here. So either she was working on something else. Might be summer.
Oh, there you go.
It might have been the beginning of summer. Or this is not the beginning of summer. This is the middle of summer.
She actually spelled kids love reaming, and she's like,
Ooh.
nope, nope,
No.
nope, sorry.
Can't
nope,
say that. All right.
See that.
Anyway, this is not even a very good example. Look how clean and crisp those lines are, though. All right. Give me the thing. This is. I also wanted to add this to. This is not a thing. We have,
Yet. It's not a thing yet. None of these things were things until they became things.
That's true of everything, Matt.
Exactly.
This is a chips club. I was at the grocery store and I was looking at all the different chips, and I was thinking to myself, boy, golly, I haven't tried a lot of chips. And there's like smaller brands of chips.
Yeah.
You know, I want to find out.
Zaps.
I was like, I want to find out what kind of chip I like. I don't think I know. I think I've defaulted one to Pringles, but Pringles is barely a chip.
Yeah.
Either way, I saw these ones. They're called Zaps, and they're voodoo chips. But there's no other indication of what sort of flavor they may be.
Oh, yeah.
Spicy or not spicy, or some sort of Cajun. It says New Orleans kettle style.
Yeah, and well, there's voodoo donuts as well, which isn't really like a flavor as it is just a state
vibe,
of mind.
style,
Yeah, vibe.
yeah.
I was in New Orleans back in
Hey, you said it right too.
2019 with a friend of ours, Brian Schmidt. We were down there, and we were just about to drive off into Bayou Country on a Quixotean quest to find Bayou Country.
Does it
and
exist? Is that a thing?
We found a bunch of small towns, but we didn't find like Bayou like we were hoping for. But we drove past a place that said hot donuts, and we're like, oh, cool, spicy donuts. That's gonna be really cool. And then we stopped there, and it turned out it just meant that the donuts were made fresh every hour.
Hot and fresh. Yeah.
Exactly. And we went, oh, well, these are still good, but these are not the hot donuts we thought you were to sell us. And the guy was watching the Saints game at the time, so he just kind of nodded politely, and we moved along on our day. But yes, so buy us some chips, buy us some wine. Those are good ways to support the show.
I mean, there's always a possibility. There's always the outward possibility that the show turns into just a food sampling show
It's just an
where
hour
we just sample things.
of some of your worst nightmares as you listen to two men chew and swallow next to two very high-quality microphones for a solid hour.
Yeah.
But you can stop that with the low price of $10.
That's right. This will be a food tasting show of extortion. We'll
Just like your Trump pictures.
That's
Another
right.
way, speaking of pictures, another way you can support the program is to go out to Mike's Patreon page. Again, all these links are included in the description. And Mike's Patreon page has 3 levels to it. The $3 level, the $8 level, which is the best level, and the $20 level, which is somehow better than the best level. Today only, if you should become a Patreon member at the $3, the $8, or the $20 level, or if you should increase your patronage from 3 to 8 or 8 to 20, we will send you for free a framed piece of art. Mike will get in contact with you, or you'll get in contact with Mike. He'll let you know about some of the art that he's available. He's got new art that's framed.
new
I can
framed
see it
art.
already, and I'm
Yeah.
excited. Also, you can support Mike by going out to his Patreon page and selecting any of his artwork and saying, hey, do you want money for this art? And he'll go, yes, thank you, that'd be nice. You don't have to, because I'm not a capitalist in that way. But the rest of the world is, so yes, I will trade art for money. Thank you very much. And
I will trade art for other stuff too, I guess, really.
you know,
I'm open.
goods and services, you know.
Goods and services.
Exactly. What, cut out the middleman of money and just go straight to the goods and services. If you want to give him some electricity or some running water,
Yeah.
you'll be more than happy to trade art for that.
I'll have a bucket of electricity, please, and
WPS or We Energies. You want to make that sweet, sweet deal? And then last but not least, the best way to support us is by sharing the show, talking up the show, liking the show, commenting on the show while it goes on. If you are out on YouTube, liking the show out there, commenting on the show out there. Build us into the algorithm. The more you build us into the algorithm, the more popular we become. The more popular we become, the less we have to talk to you about paying us so we don't eat chips in your face. And so it's a win-win-win.
what'd you think of those chips?
They were good. They had a nice little spice to them, but not too hot.
Yeah.
I liked.
A little vinegar, a little spice, a little something.
You know, and I feel like if I ate a few more of them, there'd still be a little bit of spice there, but it would not stack.
Yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes will catch you by surprise as well.
Sure.
You know?
I think the voodoo name is, I don't know, unless it's actually some other voodoo is happening.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
I guess if we suddenly start feeling pains in our joints and or our limbs start moving around, we'll know that we got voodooed up.
Oh,
But
no.
otherwise, you know, yeah. So, Mike, do you want to show off some of the art that you got framed there?
Oh, I wanted to, I've learned some secrets of framings, Matt. I've made some frames.
Oh.
So I've taken the lumber from the wall that was previously up here. I'm cutting up things and making home custom-made frames. This is the first one I made, and I didn't mean it to be a square, but that's because it's the first one I made, and I Made some measuring errors.
Square's the easiest to do. No.
Squares
Made
are easier
some
to do.
Measuring experiments.
That's right, some measuring experiments. Also, I had the staples that were too long, so they stuck through. And I found them through. Yeah, that's fine. Well, this was an experiment. But this one, still, still is a fine piece.
That
and
picture's
would-
not for cuddling at night. It's for hanging on a wall somewhere.
That's right.
So if the staples are through a little bit, just be careful of that wall.
So I made this one. This
Nice.
is a
Love
piece that might be, and then this I think is a very nice quality one. It's a classic cat painting. It's kind of a rustic looking.
That one is
frame.
gorgeous.
Ah, isn't
Like,
that nice?
it's going to blend a little bit into our topic du jour later on, but I love all of the colors in that, and I love how the frame
Yeah.
fits so well into the colors.
The frame
in
helps that one a lot.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Looks like a coffee shop
Again,
piece.
that piece technically is $3. If you should join Mike's Patreon today only
Today only.
and go at the $3 level, that picture is yours.
I was in general on the street. On the street, selling this on the street was going to go for $25.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Handmade frame.
Yeah.
And then I was going to do the bargain on the street. You could buy for $20 if you became a $20 Patreon.
Oh, nice.
And you could then quit being a Patreon after 1 month if you don't like it. But then
Exactly.
I think you're gonna become a Patreon, and you're gonna like it so much you're gonna stick around.
I think all of your Patreons have stuck around, which is nice. So
all but like one.
they died.
I don't want to talk to them.
Exactly. But again,
They're fool.
Especially, you sell it on the street and you go, this is a handmade frame. People are going to be like, well, that's easily going to be $25, $30.
Yeah.
So even the $8 level, which again is the best level, you see that picture.
Handmade
Ooh,
frame.
and last but
And then this one,
all mixed media.
So same wood, just spray painted silver there.
I mean, the
Matt.
water effect.
Yeah, sure.
Is that actual water?
No, this is that's all digital. That's
Really?
a digital painting, all made digitally there.
I love it.
This is Neonopolis, I believe it was called.
I love it, Bob.
Yeah, that's all right. It's okay.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Hey, you got yourself a little restaurant, a little coffee cafe. You got yourself a little coffee nook at the house. You got a little place you like to brew it up. Get yourself that picture
Yeah.
with the coffee cat. Why not?
Coffee cat.
Some coffee cat.
It's not a copycat.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for Mike for sharing some of your art. We'll talk more art a little bit later on. But that was Patreon Pitch.
Oh, and you're out. Next better. That was nice. So where are we up to now, man?
Our next thing actually is going to be, we can either just chat a little bit, you and I, talk about personal projects and updates on that.
Yeah.
Which again would tie into the reason that I said that this was Art Cult Series 3's season finale, if you will. Or we can move right on to the topic du jour. I think might be a good time to talk some personal projects.
Sure, we can do that.
do it.
I'm assuming one of the reasons you're saying that is maybe the end of season 3, moving on to season 4, is because we.
Is it season 4? It might be season 4.
I don't know. You've been keeping track of the seasons.
I'm trying my best.
Well, we don't break them at any normal time, just whenever Matt decides.
Yeah.
So
It's British.
wait for the Christmas special. Why I say? Oh, because the next one might not be on a Monday.
That's right.
It's gonna be next in 2 weeks now, either on a Sunday or Tuesday, which we have yet to decide. Because I'm rehearsing a play right now. I'm directing a play, and then we're mid rehearsals. The cast wants to rehearse on Mondays. I guess it's the one day they have off.
If you can get 8 people together that all want to work together on a play
It's true.
at the same day, then that's the day you got to go with,
Well, the play I'm rehearsing, it's called Lustful Youth. That'll be on Abrams Theater, Abrams Spotlight Productions, in June, the 2 middle weekends of June.
There we go. And if you've never been to Abrams Theater, it's a beautiful place. It's an old church, is it not?
It is.
It's a great location, great stage. We've talked about what a good job, in many episodes, what a good job Maggie does as an art designer. I believe you have a different person who does the art design for these shows. And I saw The Foreigner, which you also directed there,
Yeah.
and it was astonishing. Like, I was astounded by how good of a job they did with that set and the multiple entrances and the, accoutrements, if you will.
Accoutrement.
The little bit of this and that, the knick-knackery that helps build this idea of a country cabin lodge. So I am very excited to see what is done for Lustful Youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'm not going to give away a lot. You going to see the
don't.
show? You going to see the show?
I plan on seeing the show, yeah.
Matt's been in a production of this show
I
years
have
ago.
Yeah,
So he knows all about it.
exactly. I am going to... I will sit there and not be like, well, I would have said it that way. I promise I will not, because I did not audition for it, and so it's not my right to say, this is a new production of it, so it's not my right to say, oh, that's how I would have done it. Plus, Now, is this your first time directing it, though, or did you direct it when it was back at St. Norbert and it was still called Dill? Because I know you didn't direct the production. I did. Peter Blavitt.
Blavitt did that one. I directed the one at Venture Theater, the small Venture Theater.
Okay, the
where we
second
had a
time
small comeback one. That was the only one I directed. Matt Sloan directed the first one.
Did he really?
Yeah, back at St. Norbert.
nice.
That was, I believe, his directorial debut as well. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Your friend Matt Sloan, who does Blame Society
You can say
Productions.
our friend. It's okay.
Our friend. I always feel weird about that because I'm like, I would think of him as my friend, but I don't know him enough, and he's famous enough now that I'd be like, my friend Matt Sloan, and he'd be like, yeah, pal. Thanks,
Pal,
pal.
maybe pal.
Exactly.
All right.
Be like, hey, Andy. I'm like, no, I just kind of look like him. I was tall like that, but that's not me. But he was actually just up here this
He
weekend.
was. You missed him.
I know.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
yeah, I
No,
know.
you all missed him.
Exactly. In your second production
Mm-hmm.
of Premium Blend, can you tell the audience a little bit about Premium Blend?
Sure.
And,
That's
yeah.
so we do our little improv show, and once a month I do a smaller show with some more veteran players. I call it Premium Blend, where we just so it's more veteran players, so maybe players who haven't played in a while, maybe players who I haven't got to play with in a while, and doing a little more highbrow improv.
Okay, I was gonna say the structure of it's
Slightly.
slightly different than a typical Comedy City show as well.
A little bit. We we're working on the structure.
For example,
per
I saw you-
show.
From the looks of the picture, you were playing Story.
Yeah.
And Story is not a game that I've played at Comedy City now for quite a
Yes.
while and already.
Another reason why we're doing the show is to play some games that, for one reason or another, we've not been able to play with the newer players. Probably because we haven't taught them the game.
That's true. No,
It's on us.
well, that is one of the kind of things you rub against as we deviate into that a little bit, is that when you have a lot of newer players, it seems like it always hits kind of these waves, and I know I'm just as guilty as anybody else.
Yeah.
But you hit these waves, and so a lot of your veteran players don't make shows anymore.
Yep.
And so then most of your shows are 3 or 4 new people, and so they're not going to take the risk on an old game. One, because they don't really know it, but two, they may not feel comfortable putting it on the stage. And if they're not doing it on the stage, well, they're probably not doing it in practice.
Sure.
And so
Well, you could also, I mean, it's maybe less reluctance on them, but the newer, whenever we get a new group of players, it brings a new vibe to the
as well,
troop.
yeah.
The troop evolves. We used to have a bunch of props on stage. We used to have a bunch of costumes on stage. We used to do a bunch of things.
you used to have a whole wall full of hats and wigs
Yeah,
and all that.
we used to have walls. But it changes. It evolves over the years, and so this was a way of me kind of holding on a little bit of the past for myself, without stopping the evolution of the current troop.
No, I like it.
So just keep one foot in the past and 1 foot in the audience.
There you go. I love it. Especially when you're telling stories, you should have 1 foot in the audience.
That's right.
But no, I'm great. It's great that it went well. I'm excited for it. I'll actually be part of the third
You're
show.
being the third one.
Exactly.
You and Tucker and Joey.
Nice.
And we were thinking of adding another person, but I think between you and Tucker and Joey, we got plenty of words on the stage. There's going to be lots of talking.
Lots
It's
of
going to be a
talking.
lot of fun.
Yep. It's like a lot of.
There's going to be no empty space, is what I'm saying. There's no room for another person on stage. There are a vocal crew of people. I don't think the three of them have worked together before. All three of you?
It's no.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I did improv with Tucker. Maybe I've done it once. That was probably it. He was actually in a short play I wrote,
Oh yeah.
and then you and I were both part of his Big Fat Quiz show about 2
Sure.
years ago.
Okay. But you haven't been in with Tucker and Joey.
I've
And
never-
me.
No.
Boy,
not
golly.
Ever. Not
That's
ever. That's a Venn diagram. It's 4 separate circles.
that is another reason why I want to do these shows as well. Too. It's called Premium Blend. Try to blend together, qualified people from different times. See what happens.
No, that's actually very
happens.
interesting because, I would say the 4 of us are all very different kind of generations,
Yeah.
especially even Tucker, who comes in around Joey's time, but because he's a stand-up comedian as well, like his experience interactions on the stage, I feel were very different than Joey's were. So, awesome.
The crew we had to play in this last weekend had not. Those 5 of us have never not been on stage together since 96, maybe 95, 96.
I was going to say, probably since Matt moved down to Madison.
Yeah. There's been. There's been iterations of some of us, but not all 5 of us. But
That's amazing.
so yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, very cool.
Good times. Good times.
Awesome.
And Matt, what are you working on?
What am I working on?
All right, you got a project in September that's due?
I do have a project that's due in September, but a lot of that's not my responsibility anymore because that's all written.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
spreads.
All right.
But yeah, so then I
You're
guess
not gonna be there for the rewrites.
I'll be there for the rewrites.
Okay,
If
the
there's
punch
rewrites that
ups?
need to be done. Yeah, I'll pop in from time to time and
The
talk.
questions that the people have.
Nope, no questions. No.
This happened
questions.
at my play. We're doing my current the play.
Yeah.
It's available online. The script is there, and we're doing the rehearsal. And then one of the performers, Maggie, a different Maggie than Maggie Blue, she said, "Hey, my character. It doesn't ever say I enter. It says the other two characters enter, but it doesn't say my name. I don't enter. But then later I'm there and I say a thing. So when do I enter?" And it's like I don't know. I have to check with the guy who wrote that. And I still don't have an answer. I don't have a sufficient answer.
I'm the director. I can go dig out the DVD if you want and see if I can figure out when she comes in. Which
Something. It was like there are various little oversights that I must have like just glossed past at some point, and
right.
but you notice it when you're directing the show.
Oh yeah, then you're like, oh, that's,
Oh yeah,
that's not in there.
That's the problem. Yeah.
I got you.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I will probably have to be there for some of that.
Those
to
sort of
help out with
questions.
those sort of questions of, hey, when do they enter? Because some of them are written in ways where it's very much like, you should know because I didn't have time to,
Right.
you had 8 hours rehearse this, so you figured all that stuff out on your own. But yeah, so it's called, what is it? Comically and Cleverly. Cleverly and comedically.
okay.
One way or the other. Either way. It'll be in September. But it is a collection of one-acts and 24-hour plays that I've written,
Okay.
grouped together. Will, your co-host of This Week in History,
Yeah.
will be the director of it. We've not done auditions or anything for that. That'll happen sometime this summer. And then it'll run in September over at the Comedy City Theater as
nice.
a cardboard theater production. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited and
Are you very excited?
I am. I'm excited and nervous and
Very
anxious
excited.
about it.
Anxious.
I'm anxious. Okay, so
These are tested plays, though, right? These are,
yeah, they're all tested. They're all tested plays.
Okay.
I feel like someone's gonna come to me and go, "That was a cop out to put all of them together," and it's like it's not a cop out. It's a collection of works.
I can't
that-
imagine a person having the balls to do that. Who
person who lives in my head.
the person that lives in your head is
lives in my head.
because it would have to be someone who had also written a number of short plays.
Right, exactly. It's like there's 8. I think there's 7 to 8 in here, and it'll probably get cut down to 6 to 7. Like it's a little fuller right now.
Yeah.
If you see 8 shows, they were all quality, and that's why they were all in.
Oh.
But it's one of those things where like I filled it, and I didn't even put in all the ones I've written, but I thought I had a good selection of styles and number of people in each group, and there's a couple like unique ones that I've written that I'm very proud of that I wanted to have in there just to do the unique stylings of theater, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for Will to direct it. I think he's going to do a great job. I'm very excited to see who gets cast because the other thing was, other than myself and maybe you, I don't think anyone's seen all of these plays.
Oh, okay.
No one has, because one of them was written for the very first 24-hour theater, which you, I, and I think Mike Yoder wrote scripts for.
Wow.
And like 5 people came. And so, quite honestly, so I don't think anyone has ever seen all of these shows. I know even my parents haven't seen all of these shows. So, yeah.
Well, then that's all the more reason to do it.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. You tell that voice to shut up.
There you go. So I'm excited
Voice
about that.
don't know nothing.
And then I'm currently dabbling in writing 3 other plays. So
Yeah?
that's all slowly but surely, yeah.
That's good. I was just jump into the topic of writing. I was talking to Jared before. Where I was playing with the Google AI
Yeah,
Bard.
that's its name,
Is
Bard.
it- yeah, Bard. And I was throwing in pages of the book I'm writing.
Yeah.
And saying, write this better,
Okay,
and then it would write it better.
nice. Look at
It would like. I don't know. Sometimes better. Sometimes then it would add because I only gave it like a page, and like from the middle of the book,
Okay.
and then it would like add more plot line after the fact, which is not the direction the thing was going,
No.
and also not understanding the characters all because it didn't. No, it just was based off of like one thing, and it would
Yeah.
it'd go like just a strange, weird tangent. I don't know.
Nice.
And then I did tell it to write this one page funnier.
Okay,
And the page happened to have a guy who had lost his pants.
okay.
And in the writing, it added the detail describing his underwear.
Oh,
And I was like, all right, well done, computer.
well done, Bard.
Add detail about underwear. Funny. Underwear's
Great.
funny.
Nice.
Everyone wears underwear.
Well done. They do.
It's all funny.
Yeah, it is. It's always amusing.
Underwear
Right?
is funny. That's a comedy staple.
It is a comedy staple.
Person standing there in their underwear.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially if like their clothes
Hilarious.
get pulled off.
Sure.
And then they're in the underwear.
Yeah.
It's like that's funny. That's funny
Yeah,
stuff.
and got striped boxers. What is the problem, Cat?
Yeah, the cat's over here now talking to the
Got
paint box.
got opinions.
I actually in Anything Goes which was a musical I was in high school.
Yeah.
I actually was the character that was standing around in his underwear at one point.
Oh, nice.
And
Big
then-
laughs.
Big laughs. And then also though we were not allowed to say the term hot pants
Oh,
because it was too sexual, I guess.
you could be in your underwear
Yep.
on
Underwear
stage,
and a t-shirt. And,
but they
yeah,
could not say the word hot
couldn't-
pants.
Couldn't say hot pants. Nope. They could say hots, but not hot pants.
interesting.
Apparently hot pants apply too much. And then-
Someone read into that too much.
Yep. And then my favorite part of all of that was like, so then the next like year or so, because then I did it senior year as well, and the kids would always get excited for, not just the musical you're doing, but the future musicals in their head that they
Oh, yeah.
planned that we're going to do. And then I was like, I bet we're going to do Grease some year. I bet we're going to do Grease. I'm like, we couldn't say hot pants on stage.
We're not going to be able to grease lightning at all.
We're doing Grease? Are you familiar with Grease? Have you only heard the remix that's currently playing on the Top 99 on WIXX
Yeah.
because this is 1999? And Otis Day is the host currently.
Sure.
We just moved on from Ben LeMay. But I'm like, there's no way we're doing Grease.
What kind of wagon was grease lightning?
Oh, it was a real, I think it took cats around everywhere.
Yeah, all right, real kitty wagon.
Real kitty wagon. Meow, meow, meow. Grease
Yeah.
lightning.
Oh, Pitters loves the grease lightning. All right. Well, that is Matt's upcoming project. I'm excited for that because I think I'll probably audition for it.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that would be
See
great.
if I, 'cause not having to direct it, frees me up to do
Right?
that.
Oh, it
So,
really
there we
does.
go.
Yeah, there's some ones you'd be really good in there.
Well, let's see. Let's not jinx it.
Exactly, right? No, exactly.
All right. All right. What's up next, Matt?
Up next is topic du jour.
Oh boy. Oh boy. The topic du jour.
That sounds good. I'll have that. That was really impressive. I actually felt like you were pouring
Well,
wine.
I was hoping this would make a noise, but instead I just got my mouth all over it.
I was hoping maybe we should do that in a second take. So everyone pretend like this is take one. And Jay's going to put the camera on me, and then you'll do the thing,
Wait.
and people will think you're pouring wine.
Oh, pretty
that was
good.
close.
I don't think I can do
The
it.
topic du jour. That sounds good. I'll have that. There we go, Mike. Excellent job of pouring out that wine in our first take. So topic du jour this week is color theory.
Color theory. Yep. I picked that topic du jour because I've heard the term, I've heard it bandied about,
Exactly.
and people can study it, but I've never really delved into it.
He won money at the bank this year. No, I'm kidding. That's Austin Theory. That's a little joke for our very small subset of people that both watch this show and enjoy pro wrestling. So Maggie, Nick, Will if he catches it later. But anyway, color theory.
I don't get it, and I'm here. Sounds like color theory. All right. So I heard the term, wanted to know a little more about it. What I found out, the base level of what I found out, is that they have made it far too complicated to understand color theory.
Yeah, they
They
really
use
have.
really long, big words and really tortured ways of phrasing things
Yes.
and describing stuff and illustrations that
Yeah.
do not help. Some did, but some did not.
The main site I looked at, because I looked at a couple sites trying to
Yeah.
explain it, and the main one I saw, one had an old timey like 1700s color wheel sketch.
Well, that was the
Stars.
one thing I learned as well. The first color wheel was designed by, I believe, Da Vinci. It was like or Galileo. Oh no,
Yeah,
one of the
those
two.
One of those two.
But I was surprised. Actually, Da Vinci's less surprising because he was an artist as well, all right?
Yeah, and he
But
did
was
a lot
also
of science
Yeah,
stuff.
but I think it might have been Galileo.
Oh, well, which would also make sense because he did a lot of stuff with like
Light.
stars and lights and things.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. And he's like, no, the way the light hits and does this and that is
Yeah.
very appealing to you. And then I also found that they broke it down into like 8 different terms. It's basically, like you said, fancy ways of saying your brain likes it when these colors are
Yeah.
next to each other because of how they work together.
Yeah, it seemed there were easier ways to describe it. One, the one that I did look up that was that felt just comfortably nice was to find out what colors work well together. Look to nature. What does nature do?
There you go.
Like here's a plant. They show a plant with like green and purple on it. And like, yeah, see, that's an appealing look, right?
There you go.
Nature knows this and figures
Yeah.
out, or we find things in nature,
Nature
appealing.
finds
One
a
or the
way,
other.
you know?
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna try to make a thing. All right. What else did I learn? Well, you got the basic. You got the basic. You know, the colors,
Yes, you have your yellow, your blue, and your red.
the
especially.
primary colors,
Your primary colors.
and then you got the secondary colors,
green, purple, and orange.
and then the tertiary colors.
Grorv, Blorg, and Jorg.
Yep. Yep. But there's 6 of those.
6 of them. Oh yeah, and Ziv, Rorb,
Yep.
Bellow,
Yep.
and Blue Green.
Blue green, teal. I think blue green as well.
Blue Green, Green Blue, Red Violet, Violet Red, Yellow Red, and Red Yellow. Red Leather, Yellow Leather.
And so then, and upon the color wheel, this is where the wheel comes in handy.
Yes.
Then is that things on the opposite side of the wheel are complementary colors to whatever color you start with.
Yeah.
All right. So, in one of the little charts there, it showed me the wheel, and then it had like a little line around this and a little one this way. But then the colors immediately to the left and right on the wheel are will also work nicely together.
Yes.
When you're composing stuff.
One of the things I saw was called gradient, I want to say, where it's basically like you can go up to 4 degrees, if you will, off of your main color, either direction, and that will still be appealing to the eye. So you can work, if you took, say, green, you can work off of like a dark forest green, and you can work all the way up to like a bright lime green, and all of that together, as long as it said, you always have to be careful though with your balance between warm and soft colors. Because
Yes.
that will throw people off. If you use too many soft colors, your warm colors will feel weird, and vice versa. But there's definitely ways to kind of work off of all of that. So yeah, I think it's also one of those things where, I don't know, maybe we're so used to color theory at this point because of just advertising, how advertising is done, that your body just, or your eyes just naturally recognize, oh yeah, these are colors that should go together, you know? And so maybe we're damaged by that. I don't know.
We're
You know,
damaged.
Well, it's the same sort of way that, like, what is it, the 400 Blows? You know, the French New Wave film.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as revolutionary now because everybody's been copying it, and you probably were exposed to the copies long before you were exposed to the original. And you
Correct.
look at it and you go, I don't understand this guy doesn't, they don't really take care of their kid. And their kid has a tough life. What's new about that? And it's like, no, that was groundbreaking at the time. It's like, oh, well, we're going to take your word for it.
A thing I'm trying now to recreate here that was interesting as well was the change, how colors will change, look slightly different when paired with a different color. All right, so I tried to recreate this thing. I'm not sure if this is quite doing it. Maybe it is. You tell me. You see those two? You see those two? Yeah, you see those two. All right, and the square in the middle. So we got the.
I'm trying not to chew into the mic.
Yeah,
right
that's,
now.
okay, that's fine. Yeah. All right. So the one encased in red looks what is it? Lighter, whatever.
Yeah.
Looks bluer. The one encased in
That's what I was
around
actually going
blue
to say. Yeah.
looks purpler.
I was actually going to say the one in the red looks bluer,
Bluer, yep.
and the one in the blue
Yeah.
loo's like a darker purple. That's the same purple.
Yeah, that is the same purple. Yeah. So and then I wonder if I can do this trick then.
Yeah.
What would happen if I do this? Watch this.
See?
Let me see if I can connect these two. La 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 la. And then we do a little this. Go la 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 la.
Oh, little West Side Story right
West-
here.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bam 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 bam. Do 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 do.
Make a really good TikTok.
There you go. Oh yeah, it really would. Yeah, you get some popular song. You get like Lady Gaga's Bloody Mary over the
So
top
now
of
I don't know how it looks to you. It looks kind of different on this screen to me.
it. I can see that actually. Yeah, I can see it more so on your screen, but I do see it even here on the screen that's being shared.
It's like
It
a
definitely
fade one from
does
another. Or?
Start to kind of change from a more purple to a more blue.
Yeah.
Despite the fact it's the same color the whole way.
But I mean, that's a little more than it's just an optical illusion. But what is an optical? What is art but optical illusions?
That's very true.
Matt?
Well, and I think the biggest thing about this, where a lot of the theory comes in, is in the case, of like, well, not only art, but also in the case of like marketing. And so marketing
yes.
companies figure out, okay, these are the colors that go together well. And these are the colors that will get you to think of nature, or
Yeah.
they'll think to get you to think of home, or they'll think you get of excitement or
I
adventure.
had heard that orange makes you either hungry or aware of hunger.
Oh, really?
And that's why a lot of fast food restaurants have orange or red and yellow themes,
Oh, that makes a lot
like
of sense.
McDonald's
actually,
and Hardee's and Burger King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also remember reading somewhere that, and now I can't remember.
Not so much Taco Bell. Taco Bell is
Taco Bell knows that you're coming there anyway. Taco Bell knows that by the time you come to Taco Bell, you're not worried about colors anymore. You're like, can I say taco and get a taco in my belly very quickly?
Is that all that's on the screen, or is that in the middle of us?
It's in the middle of you.
It's
Okay.
right underneath you. Actually,
Oh yeah, what? What, man?
now I have completely lost. Oh, I was gonna say. I remember reading somewhere like I think it's yellow is a terrible color for your bedroom, or red, one of those brighter, more active colors, because they're like it will really actually like keep you awake.
Oh,
Because
sure.
It's too bright of a
Yeah, yeah.
color, so you need to use a more muted version of it if you do want to do that.
Yeah, I do. I got purple in my bedroom
nice.
for that reason.
It's a nice
to be
color,
a
yeah, it's calm
calm
color,
and
right?
soothing
Yeah.
color. Then this is on if you use any sort of digital thing.
Yeah.
These are a standard thing. Is the color wheel that then you can move your little circle around there, and then there's a you can do harmony. Oh, you can do harmony. Look at this wheel. Look at that wheel. And you move it around, and it gives you the
Oh, it's
the,
built in.
the complementary color on the other side.
That's
and
right.
then what you were talking about was gradient.
Yeah.
Like, so lighter.
Yep.
Lighter to darker.
Oh, fun.
And then you can go all the way dark. You can go super dark.
Nice. Oh yeah.
So there are. So the digital tools are utilizing color theory, and give you the tool that you can then easily like move around there and pick, and then you can pick slightly off of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Versus the old days, you'd have to know the color. So maybe you don't need to know color theory as much. Do you need to know as much? I don't think we need to know as
I
much.
feel like you should still know a little bit because
We
this
should
is
know a
actually
little
in the year plus of episodes we've done. This is the first time we've brought up the color wheel, so I think it still would
True.
be useful for that sort of thing. I also think it'd be interesting. I think it's one of those things where when you know about it, you can then work against it as well. And try to deliberately work against the colors that match up and see what sort of, I don't know if it's emotions, but maybe emotions that it invokes
Yeah.
by if you're like purple and orange. Okay, what does that do? Because that's probably not really a compliment because I think it's too far off of purple to be a matching color.
Yeah.
But again, I'm no Galileo, so what
I
do
didn't know Galileo. I'm not gonna be able to design your helicopter. That's Da Vinci too.
That was.
This
Look.
might have been Da Vinci.
Welcome to our cult. That was Da Vinci, aka I ain't no Galileo.
Ain't no Galileo. I feel like there's a way to do this where you can. What, I don't know what these. I'm not using this properly yet.
That's all right.
This
Learn
complement
as we go.
thing. Yeah. I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to learn right now though.
But yeah, so we hope you're enjoying our conversation about color theory. If you've got, if you've got some time, all you really need is a box of crayons, even if you don't have an iPad and iProcreate to play around with. Yes.
I'm sorry. What I was going
No.
to say, because I was just going to reiterate what you were saying, was that the knowledge is good. It's always good to have knowledge.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then to go against or try different, different things. But ultimately, what works best for me is just hands-on, do the thing, and does it do the thing I want it to do? Does
Yeah.
it get across the feeling I want it to feel? And this might just shorten up the time. Like, oh, I know that this color works with that one. So, the one page I looked up was red against other things. Like red against black pops really well. Red against white doesn't pop as well.
You know where that
There was a theory as to why.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, but I was like, oh yeah, I feel that. I know that.
Japan,
Maybe
probably.
Japan.
or
I also learned
Swiss.
the color of mourning, M-O-U-R-N,
yeah.
mourning, is different in different countries
Yes, it is.
or cultures, let's say.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. And actually, where that could really come in
Handy?
for you, yes, sorry, come in handy for
Handsy.
you would be one. So your cat art, for example,
Sure.
is a lot of times two colors against each other. Like it's the cat is done in one color,
Yeah.
and then you use something else in the background. So knowing what you could use to make that color pop or better blend in would be very helpful. And then two, I think it might also just be helpful if you're starting off on doing a project and you're like, you know what, I want this part to be green. Okay, what's going to work well with that without blending right into it, but it's going to cause all the colors to work together in harmony.
Yeah.
And be able to work off the color wheel and go, oh, okay, I know that if I go with a dark blue or if I go with like kind of a yellow orange, those will all complement each other very well on this green part that I'm starting with. So I think that can be very helpful. And then there's also the interior design ability. You know, if you're
I know
decorating
pages
houses
you looked
like
at. There
that.
was a lot of website advice on the page. I was
Oh,
like,
really? No, none
like,
of
oh,
mine,
you're you gotta however you design this, keep in mind what your target market is for your website.
Oh,
Stuff like that. So,
okay.
but also interior design, I guess.
Yeah, exactly right. If you're decorating a room, you want to put in some art, or you want to put in a vase, or you want to
A vase.
or if you're doing a bathroom and you're like, oh, I want to have these colors. Okay, well, you can have these colors, but these are the colors that are going to work with it then when you decide to paint or put knickknacks, that sort of thing. So it's not an all purple room, for example.
All purple room.
All purple room. All right, and I think that was our topic du jour.
I think it was good. I think I learned that the typical way I learn, where I go, oh boy, I don't know anything about this.
And then we did
Now
it.
a little more, but then I also feel now I know less. The older I get, the less I know.
Well, what is it? The first step of knowing is knowing that you know nothing. or
Yeah,
something like that?
that's right. Yeah.
So there you go. Right.
I'm okay with knowing less,
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
okay with knowing less and less the older I get.
Good. Very good.
Comfortable with that. All right, what's up next, Matt?
Next is our this week in inspiration.
Hmm.
Yeah, you got yourself something that's been inspiring you lately.
I don't know. Do you?
I've
You
got
anything?
two small ones.
I didn't plan ahead on
That's
that
good.
one.
I've got two small ones.
Yeah, what do you got?
I haven't taken the one I really haven't taken action on, but the other one less so, even less so.
Yeah.
But so, as I mentioned in one of the last episodes, one of the podcasts I enjoy watching on YouTube is a group called OSW. It's old school wrestling, and every now and then, through their Patreon pages, they allow you to like pick movies or stuff like that. They're gonna do some little side reviews on, and they did a side review on a movie called Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Hard Ticket to
I
Hawaii?
believe it's called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And it's this one of this 12 movie series that's like husband and wife kind of put together. When they said the guy's name, I could remember having heard of it before, but they're all very like low budget 80s style movies made with the same like cast of actors, and they'll kind of rotate who's good guys, who's bad guys. It's basically, attractive women in swimsuits and buff guys, and they have very flimsy plots, and it's guns and explosions and that sort of thing. But they did them all themselves, and it's really, and they even admit, they're like, yeah, look, these are dumb, low-budget movies. We just wanted to make some fun, dumb, low-budget movies.
Yeah.
And they're cult classics and really well
Sure.
enjoyed. And it's one of those where you watch and you go, oh, yeah, anyone really can do this.
You can just
have-
make a movie.
you just have to have the will to do it.
Yeah.
And I think, especially in this day and age, people are like, oh, I need to have this and this and this. And it's like, no, you really don't. You can go back to the low-tech way of doing things
Yeah.
and just make it. If you have a couple people, and especially with just phone cameras nowadays, you could do it off of
Oh.
that if you really wanted to.
I might grab some inspiration from that right now,
There you
man.
go.
The right little thing
There
there.
you go. Every now and then when I'm sitting around, I go, oh, yeah, that's right. My phone camera's probably strong enough to do this. I just need to look up how you take it then from your phone to a computer
Yeah.
to edit it. And
But it also goes back to the idea, the question of why are you creating things anyway?
yeah.
I mean, if you're like, oh, I'm not going to make a movie because can't get a huge audience to make a lot of money. Yeah, but why are you creating? Do you just want to make a movie?
Yeah.
You can just make a movie
Exactly, yeah. If you
and
want to make
show it
a-
to your family or friends or just to yourself. You don't need depending on your end goal. If your goal is just to make a movie, we can do that
make it,
tonight,
yeah.
boys.
Really
At this
good.
point, you can do it piece by piece on TikTok because TikTok,
Sure.
for nothing, they do have editing tool. Like
Oh.
it's shot a certain way, right? You
Yeah.
Yeah.
could adapt to the format and literally do an entire movie just scene by scene.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, 100% could.
And give all our secrets to the Chinese.
China's gonna love it. Oh my
Oh,
goodness! Can
actually,
you
yeah,
imagine
if
just
we
giving free
made-
access to a billion-person audience? Thank you, TikTok. Thank you, TikTok overlords. We've always been very pro-China here on Art Cult. Just like to remind everyone of that. There you go. But then the other thing that has really been bouncing around lately, which I actually have been also like, all right, I need to look into this and I need to start doing it.
Yeah.
Is I've mentioned to the both of you that I've gotten real big into like synthwave.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy that synthwave music. The Midnight's a big one. Betamax is another one that I like quite a bit. There's another one called like a Thundercat 1984. But I'm listening to this stuff and I'm like, it's obviously there's a skill to it.
Sure.
But then I was watching a is it pronounced Hosier? He did take me to
Yeah,
church.
H-O-Z.
Yeah,
E.
IER.
Yeah.
Hosier, we'll say.
Hosier.
It is. Yeah. So Hosier, I saw some little reel, which is basically a TikTok, but on YouTube, where he was talking about how he did things, and he's like, I started out playing a bunch of covers. And he goes, that's how I learned about songwriting and music and that sort of thing, was playing these covers and realizing how these people did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if you can just kind of reverse engineer it by that,
Yeah.
and you don't, like, it would all be in a computer for synthwave anyway. I'm like, that's something I'm really interested in, like, taking a crack at.
Yeah.
But and then I'm like, and I could just do it at Comedy City.
You could just do it.
Right? Exactly. It's like you just do it. And so I got really excited. So I've been being very excited about that recently. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what do I need to buy in order to do this? So that may be a summer project. So-
If you, you can get a piano for free.
what?
Just search online for pianos free. People are giving their pianos away. You know why? Pianos are really heavy.
They are.
That's the biggest
I've
reason.
only got like one stoop. Oh my goodness. I've only got like one.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean they're easy enough.
Stoop.
You know,
Yeah.
get people to help you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And just got to do
And then you
it.
just gotta send it down the basement stairs.
You'll be fine.
Put
I've,
some pillows down
the fact that they are free
Yeah.
has made me consider getting one from up here. However, the barrier is getting up here.
Well, yeah. But you know what? At the same time, people can't see this. There is a window there,
There's a big window.
and with a window that big and a will this big,
Sure.
and a big will that we know, we could probably actually pulley it right on up.
I'll pull it up. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I in college one time sent basically a giant entertainment center shelf on
Oh,
a
yeah?
third-story window because we're like, well, we're not taking it down the stairs, and so we just
I think. Oh, go ahead.
send it out into the bushes.
Oh, nice.
It was strapped to a rope. It was strapped to a rope. We did let it drop at least the last 6 feet. And we went, oh, that was more of a drop than we thought, but it was fine.
I think that practically it might make better sense going upstairs. Yeah, maybe.
tight
But
corner.
comedically, though,
Right?
I mean that's like a 1930s film thing. Instead of like a rope and a
Oh my goodness.
piano going.
And we put
like,
a pie
ding,
underneath where we're
ding.
doing it. Oh my goodness. A pie and a big X?
Didn't Laurel and Hardy do a whole staircase thing with the piano?
I'm sure they did.
I think there's a classic short they did. I think it's 99% sure it's Laurel and Hardy. It's another duo, but I think it's Laurel and
No, it'd
Hardy.
be Laurel and Hardy then. Because the only other person I can think of in that era would be Buster Keaton.
Buster-
He would've
or,
done by himself.
yeah, or Abbott Costello, but it's not Abbott Costello. It's Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
Gary says his friend is giving away his piano.
Yep. No,
Really?
people are giving them away.
How heavy is it, Gary?
It's piano heavy. They're all the same weight. That's the problem.
I do like that.
Anyway, it's a classic one.
Yeah.
We can look it up later if you want. Laurel and Hardy, and there's like a famous, really long staircase in Los Angeles, and the whole film is just them getting the piano up the stairs, and
That's
it takes
funny,
the
though.
whole film, and it's funny all the way
I
through.
believe it.
So we could do that with our window.
Exciting times.
Let's move some pianos.
Join us for Art Cult in a couple weeks. Remove a piano.
Piano movers. I've moved more than a couple.
There you go.
And they're no fun to
I
move.
moved a lot of pianos in my day.
I
I'm
sure
no
have.
Galileo, but I moved some pianos.
They're just so heavy.
Just
They're
so
they're
weird.
built not for moving.
No, they're really not, which is
Built for it.
surprising. Which is surprising. They're really built like even like because again, there's
Like the shape
grand,
is-
there's
yeah.
a grand piano, which
Yeah.
is not built for moving. It's built to be like put there and you build the church around it or whatever.
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
Just, both of them just stay there forever. But then even baby grands, I guess
Mm-hmm.
technically term for it's like those aren't built to be.
Upright, they're just like at sharp angles
Yeah.
and stuff. We could build a better piano.
How did they get them into all those saloons back in the day? Like, can you imagine having to be the people to drag them up that dirt road
Yep.
and then into the saloon?
Pull them around the town by horse.
Exactly.
Sears Robux was for.
Oh.
There you go. And as soon as somebody showed up,
Oh,
the gunslinger showed up from outside town, you're like, oh my goodness, here we go. All
Was
right,
there like
order already.
on the
Order.
Wells Fargo wagon, a giant piano hanging off the back of it?
If plays the song one more time,
That's
I
why they all
swear.
sound like it.
Oh, that's true.
That way.
That's true. A piano I have downstairs needs a tuning, but it also, no matter how tuned it is, it's gonna be, it always has a like honky tonk bar room sound, which is great. It's
Yeah,
nice,
okay, yeah.
sound. It's a good time. Today, I was playing a little piano this afternoon, and was having a similar moment of, oh, these three chords, I was just goofing around. These chords work well together. Oh, I haven't heard this, and I was like, oh, that sounds really good. It sounded like a song that I'd heard before, but then I was like, I don't know that song. Like, oh, maybe that's genius or
But all the chords
plagiarism.
kind of go together. I mean, like, there's been enough songs where I've heard little bits. You hear a little opening riff or a
Yeah.
little middle bridge, and you're like, that sounds exactly like this.
Yeah.
It's because there's only so many notes in the world.
There, Ed Sheeran is currently in court because he's accused of plagiarizing. Is it Let's Get It On?
Oh, really?
Like one, and they played the two songs, and like
Yeah.
it's a similar chord progression. And Ed Sheeran's defense is like, yeah, music has similar chord progressions that are functionally
Right.
similar. Yeah.
Exactly. Especially in today's pop radio, there's like 4 chords. There's only so many things I can do with
Yeah.
these, my friends.
Yeah,
Thank you very
but
much.
but it's actually in court right now. So
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you got the will for it. I mean, poor Ed Sheeran already losing out to the guy who said that he came up with Yesterday. And, and then you guys got to go through this as well.
poor Ed
I thought it
Sheeran.
was really weird, a weird choice that they made Ed Sheeran like the best musician in this world where the Beatles never existed. Did you ever see that movie?
I've not. Oh no,
I
I've
watched
heard
it
of
on
it.
an
Oh,
airplane,
okay.
so I only know what I could glean from it watching it on mute, like
Oh,
2
okay.
seats up. but the guy takes on Ed Sheeran playing and Ed Sheeran. They have a contest where Ed Sheeran just comes up with a song and he just comes up with a song.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure he does yesterday because he's a Beatles cover artist. He's like a busker, and so he's doing all that. And I think the last one he finally remembers is "All the Lonely People,"
Okay.
which is an amazing song.
Huh.
If nothing else, Paul McCartney gave us that, and he gave us Jet. And so, what more do you need?
And
What
he
more do
gave
you
us
need?
Jet.
What more do you need? He gave us Jet, and he gave us All the Lonely People. But he plays yesterday for him.
I think that's called Eleanor Rigby.
It is called Eleanor Rigby. You're right.
Yeah.
But he gives Eleanor Rigby. and
One
he
of
gives Jet.
2 songs with the name Eleanor.
Really?
I don't know. There's another song. Eleanor G, I think you're swell.
Oh yeah, that is what the name is.
I was just in Milwaukee last week. This is if you're in Milwaukee, 106.9
All right.
is an oldies station, like 50s to 60s oldies. So they got Elvis, and then a song I really hooked on for a while called "The Mashed Potato."
Oh yeah, the mashed
Oh,
potato.
it's good.
Oh yeah.
Either way, if you're in the
You just
Milwaukee
play the
area,
name game. The name game you see
Wow.
played on actual radio as if it were a song.
There should be
if
more
they played Wheels on the
food-based
Bus,
songs.
Like just, that's actually a topic we talk about quite a bit. Like the responsibility of radio, especially in today's
Oh.
conglomerate world,
Yeah.
where if you own like 5 stations in a market, like 2 are like your money makers.
Yep.
And so after that, why not have one that basically is just responsibility is to like educate people? So play like 30s to 50s,
True.
or play just like 70s funk or whatever like that. Like have a station, because the people that want to listen to just pop hits of today are already on like these 3 stations, and they're not going to your station because you're playing funk music. Like they want to be there for the funk music.
Yeah.
They're not there like, well, maybe Justin Bieber will be on in the next hour if I just hang around long enough.
I
Yeah.
think any market research concerning radio is not looking great. Right
yeah.
now.
How dare you?
The satellite is it satellite then, or other
Satellite
or
podcast,
streaming thing? Yeah.
yeah.
Radio will always exist. It's not vaudeville. It will always exist.
Well,
How dare you?
How dare you? I'm getting actually.
vaudeville's back too,
I gotta
right?
stop for a second because I started getting actually heated about that, and I will not on this show, which is streaming or a podcast or both. It's a pod stream. I don't know what it is, but anyway.
We're all just trying to just do our thing and keep up with the stream of constant new technology, Matt.
Look, I'm no Galileo, but I moved some pianos in my day.
All right, let's move on. What time? How much time we got left? We got this much according to the sand.
So we
But
should
how
probably
much-
move on to Matt's Snobby Critic then.
Snobby Critic. Snobby Critic. That would sound real good with a bass line on it. Snobby Critic.
Yes, it would.
Get to work on that.
It would sound good.
All right. So where did we leave off, Matt?
we were actually up by a robot.
We're
up
up.
there, up a little bit.
Up.
Up a little bit higher.
Up.
Higher still.
Okay, but
There we are. All right. Now let's pause for a moment.
yes.
All right. Now there are a couple things I would like to look at immediately. First of all, just for fun, to the right of the robot.
To the right?
Starburst.
The robot. Oh, okay, good. All right, that's a fun one. I like that.
Yes.
All right. Ooh, look
Oh,
at
and
this.
Oh.
Oh.
Telescoping along the event horizon, I see.
Oh yes, indeed. The reason why I got the star, I like. You probably can't see it. Maybe you can't see it. I think you see the little hexagon down there.
A little
That
bit,
hexagon,
yes. Yes.
the little lens flare,
Yes.
hexagon lens flare. That could just come standard on whatever. I don't know how I made that happen.
Come standard with your
Some brush, one of the
celestial
brushes,
supernova.
one of the brushes, the luminance brushes
Yeah.
made a. I like that, and then I made that that little line there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I, of course, then thought I'd be whimsical and make it
I love it. It's just enough whimsy. Just enough whimsy.
Yeah, add a little lunch note action.
Nice.
Good guy. We'll add some stars, make
I
it look more
was-
spacey.
Listening to a podcast just recently,
Yeah.
and they were talking about the Webb telescope and how
Yeah.
they were very excited about the Webb telescope, and then became terrified by it because they saw actual pictures. And like it was like testing, it was test runs that the Webb telescope was doing. Like they pointed it towards the sun or by the sun to like kind of test out the lens, that sort of thing. And they had all these weird like blur lines and smudges. And they're like, well, that's weird on a new telescope. So they tightened it up a little bit. They went, oh, those are galaxies. Everywhere we thought there was just black space, no, there's galaxies. Like
Everything's
it's just galaxies
so far away
everywhere.
and we can't see it.
Exactly, until you brought out this Webb telescope, and now you can see that there are galaxies everywhere, and it's like just constantly surrounded by light and other planets and other things and so on and so forth, and it's
Yep.
both like amazing and terrifying.
When you're thinking people won't come to your play because how dare you write a bunch of plays and then put them together in a one-act
Right.
compilation, just like how big the universe is and how much it doesn't matter.
There you go. I like that. That's nice. It's actually very reassuring. In the grand scheme, it's
In
very
the grand
reassuring.
scheme, you might as well enjoy your little time here.
As well. Oh my goodness, there's one that involves teeth. You're gonna love it. Come see that.
Oh, I
It's
recall the
good. Yeah, it's a
teeth.
good one. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's scroll on.
We're scrolling. We're scrolling.
let's
They see me
scroll.
scrolling. I
All
can only scroll so far.
You know,
but we'll
why
do
don't
it
we
again, but-
go over to the far right then, and we'll just touch on that, just because it's a nice little plug again.
The far right.
Yes, the far right. Ocean waves, I believe.
This
titled
one.
it.
All right.
Yes,
This one. There we go.
Indeed.
There we go.
Looking good.
Yeah, that is
There we go.
some promotional material for my upcoming production, Lustful Youth.
Yes, it is.
And now, unfortunately, the actress who's the actress in this picture, she had to drop.
Brown.
She had to drop out of the play,
Oh, no.
like the next day after I did this,
No.
and so we just went. Well, we're gonna keep this because it took me a long time to do.
Nice, nice.
But other fun things about this, that background there,
Mm-hmm.
that background, that is AI generated.
Really?
AI generated, what do you call this stuff? Oceanfront there.
Yeah, what'd you tell AI to do?
I told it a bunch of things, and it was a number of trial and errors. So this is, I don't know how many I ended up doing. at least 10 different variations
Okay.
of typing in oil painting, cliffs, water, waves crashing on cliffs. And sometimes I wanted to have it like higher on a cliff.
Yeah.
And it took a while to get there. I don't know. It was a number of variations. But then I, tweaked it
I like it.
till I got that. And I took the photo that I posed,
Yeah.
and then did a little my rudimentary Photoshop where I cut out the
Still
the
good
picture.
stuff. I like
Yeah.
it.
It is still good stuff.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the costuming as well. Is that from Abrams Theater?
That is,
Very
yeah.
Shakespearean.
The costuming is from the basement of the theater. We were like, we dug it at that. Like we needed to put this together tonight.
Yeah.
So we put this together in like 10 minutes. We went downstairs and dug around costumes, and pretty good. These may not be the costumes for the show, just like it's not the actress for
There
the
you
show.
go. There you go. But no, I really enjoy it because I remember the costuming that we used for the version we did.
Sure.
And I feel like it's in the same realm, but I almost feel like this is fancier costuming, which fits into again the idea because then again, Lustful Youth is kind of this mishmash of a person writing a soap opera, and so
Yeah.
they should look like this in that big romance, novel style. So very cool.
Not to blow my own horn and complain one or another. What it did take the longest amount of time it took was so he took the picture,
Removing all
put it
the
there,
hair off
and
that man's chest.
just
No,
like you see the little like I'm deleting the background.
I can, yeah,
just
yeah.
erasing all that.
Yeah.
It just takes forever.
It
And I
does.
bet there's an easier way.
You're masking.
And I'm masking slowly after the fact, whatever. It takes forever, and I 100% know there's an easier way. While I was doing it, but I was like, you know what though, I've never really worked with Photoshop, so I'm going to learn and do it this way.
There's probably some sort of weird
Oh, and I even put liquid in the bottle there. She sold
yeah.
an empty bottle.
Yeah.
I spent
some
a
sort
lot.
of weird masking points you can use, and it'll go, oh yeah, just remove everything around this line. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
we'll do
yeah.
that. But yeah, no,
I
awesome.
I
like
believe
it.
on my phone it has my phone now updated, the photo editor updated to
Yeah.
be like delete this thing in the background, whatever it's called.
Ah,
There's
that
sort of-
magic eraser or
Yeah,
whatever. I
yeah.
gotcha.
Which just thought was weird. There was a commercial for that.
Yeah.
And it was funny. They kept deleting things. I was like, oh, but that was the interesting part of the. It was like a couple kissing in the
Yep.
background, a dog humping a
Yep. Or
fire
the kid
hydrant or
doing
something.
like a flip trick
Yeah.
while the other person's getting
yeah, yeah,
engaged. And
yeah.
stuff.
And to me, I was like, no, the interesting one was
the flip kick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, also, that's more fun if your marriage is already
Yeah.
off, your relationship's already off to you, like deleting things that don't fit into your version of the history.
Yeah.
It's not a good.
Ooh, that's a good
Oh, my
question.
goodness.
That's a good question. All right, how much? Where we at, man?
I don't know, but I've got two more that I want to talk about real
Okay.
quick. All right, we're going to go from the middle, one over to the left. I'm going to call it Gandalf in the Universe.
No, okay. All right.
And then we're going to go directly above that in a minute.
Sure.
Oh,
All
look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's fun.
I'm a little more happy with him than I was. I have not had a lot of experience yet drawing faces or peoples,
Yeah.
and I was trying to draw like a rough one.
Yeah.
But actually, the original thing was I was chatting with a friend of mine, and she was talking about she had some image she wanted to recreate with hexagonal shapes,
Sure.
and some other lights.
Yeah.
And she, I wanted, she when she was going to try to draw it with like pencil. I was like, I can do that in like a minute. Hold on 1 second, and I went and I created that background
Yeah.
thing. And then I just so I had that background look. It was just whatever it was. It was just this. La 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 la. I said, oh, okay, all right. And then so I had that, and then I was like, I should add something more to it somehow. And I was like, oh, I'm making a little wizard man. So that was why I
Like,
made a little wizard man.
what I also like about it is it seems very much like a 70s movie still.
Oh,
where
yeah.
They then go back through and the artist is like, yeah, we're still working on putting in the wizard for this part.
Yeah.
This, as you could see, because like the world's gotten weird because he's casting his spell or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever, and it's very, I guess, Rankin Bass, like the
Yeah,
Indian version
yeah.
of the Hobbit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As well. So it's that kind of style where it's like, oh yeah, this is where he'd come in and blah 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 blah. So no, it's very cool. And again, I love the colors of it. It probably fits into the idea of the color wheel, but I really like it. I think
Probably
it's really
does.
neat.
It probably does.
Yeah.
You're probably right, man.
All right, and let's go back one, and then we're going to go straight above it, and that'll be the last one we'll talk about.
Okay,
I
oh,
love,
this one. I'm very happy with this one. This
love-
one. This one.
Parent robots. Yeah, parent robots talking to the son, maybe. They're like, hey, son, we're not. Hey, son. Hello.
Yeah.
And we got dad robot and mom robot.
All right.
And I love their faces. I love the luminescence tool. I'm a sucker for luminescence.
Yep. I know.
And you have a
Me
great
too.
glow effect there in that the light of the sun is like it's very clearly shading, or you can see the light on the one part and is very clearly shading another part though. Like there's very clearly a part of that where the light is not reaching, and I really like that. And I like that it's just enough. It's not the whole thing. It's not even half. It's just enough. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. These were actually the original intention of the the two faces was doing the theater masks, happy sad theater masks, and robot-y.
Okay.
I was just goofing around also with the luminescent tool. And then the other fun thing I did, so then I added that light, their reflection on their face.
Yeah.
And then I used the blur tool. You can blur the luminescence,
Okay.
and you can adjust the blur brush.
Really?
Yeah, so you can blur it in whatever style. So you can put a brush in like a paint style and then blur it in pen.
Okay.
Right. And so this is luminescence and then blurred in luminescence
Yeah.
as well. So that and then I did some little cleanup eraser.
That's
there.
really nice, though. I really like, especially on the sad face, we'll say, I really like the shadowing you did, but I also enjoy just how happy the happy face is.
He
The
does.
happy face is
He's
just so
beaming,
happy,
beaming with joy.
right? And then I enjoy the colorblind test robots. font
Yeah,
right there.
and that was another little trick I did as well. There was I just layered. There's on some Photoshop
Yeah.
or other design thing I've worked with. It'll it's as a tool already. It'll give you a shadow to the
Okay, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
This one I just layered two different two different layers
Okay.
of the words. That's the way I do it. So I put,
And then I know we're running low on time, but I do just want to walk through. If you want to jump back to the beginning of it, I also like that the robot's text then kind of looks like it's like a fake 3D, like it's trying to trick you into
oh yeah,
3D.
sure.
But as we're moving through the picture again, because one of the tenets of art cult is encouraging art, and we do that by showing how Mike goes through this process. Just watch the process of both creating both faces and
Yeah,
the
that's
ons and offs that he does.
Scribble, 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 scribble.
All right, figuring things out. Okay, is that?
Variety- I had to get the right-
Now I'm going to do this circle.
Bunch of
Is that
different
right? No,
yeah,
back to the circle. There's the eyes. No. Now there's the eyes. Now I'm moving the line a little bit. What works best? And then I even just like the little note you put in for yourself. Text. Okay, I'm going to test how the text works. Test. Robots. Test. Robots. Test.
Yep.
All that, and then the
And
drawing.
this time,
erasing it out.
actually, it might be interesting time-wise to see. Usually by the halfway point that we've decided, and
Yeah.
then you start doing, you start tweaking.
And
things.
even then, no, I think you were still kind of working things through, and so that was
Yeah.
really cool. So I think that's a great example, and it's a great example to end on.
There you go. I think you're right, Matt. I also do believe at one point I was doing this one, and I did say to myself in my head, I was like, I'm not happy with it, whatever. I was like, well, just do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if I don't do it or do it. Just
Why? Who and why are you creating art? Who are you creating art for, and why are you creating the art? Again, those are the questions that we ask
Right.
here at Art Cult. The questions you should ask yourself. Because again, the 5 tenets of Art Cult.
Number one.
Make art.
number 2,
Encourage art.
3,
Promote art.
number 4.
Fourth thing,
Style things. I've never had.
5, drink wine. And we're basically finishing our wine. We're basically finishing our time. Thanks to Jira for once again getting everything where it needs to be.
Ooh, this is new. I'd try this
Yeah.
one. This is good.
That's a new one, yeah.
Ooh.
Good stuff. Oh my goodness.
It's got a oh God, I can't handle it backwards.
La Cornada. Available at Aldi's. Again, remember, Aldi's is not a sponsor of Art Cult, but you could be a sponsor of Art Cult.
Ooh, I like this one. Have you tried this? Have you had it?
I
You
haven't
think this
gotten
one?
to it yet. No, I'm still finishing Maggie's fine contribution to Art Cult. And
got,
again, so to Maggie, to Breck, to everybody that's watching, either now or later on, thank you so much. And we'll see you at a different time in 2 weeks when we start season 4 or season 5. Who knows? But I'm internationally produced playwright Matt Warzala.
Honey. It's got a little honey taste to it.
It's got a little honey taste to it.